and informative programs, and lots more. West Africa Democracy Radio, 94.9 FM. It's you speaking.
WADR, promoting dialogue.
It's 6 p.m. in Dakar, 7 p.m. in Abuja. Good evening, and many thanks for staying tuned to West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM and worldwide at wadr.org. Welcome to Newslink. Here are the top stories. Health authorities in Ghana partner with WHO to roll out a nationwide HPV vaccination campaign in September. Chad and Mauritania receive millions of dollars in grants to support education recovery efforts. U.S. Special Envoy for the Great Lakes arrives in Togo for crisis resolution in the region.
We are
unanimous in emphasizing the central role of the African Union. Thanks to this mediation entrusted to President Faure Gnassingbé, it is a central place to manage the current crisis and also to tackle the root causes of instability and insecurity in the Great Lakes region.
And a prominent Nigerian human rights activist charges the Electoral Commission to caution politicians over illegal campaigns ahead of the 2027 general elections.
The ongoing electioneering campaign is illegal, it's also diversionary. Because what Nigerians expect now, what the law provides for, is governance of the country without distraction. So it's not time yet to campaign. And I do hope that INEC will draw the attention of politicians, including those who constitute the government.
Stay with us for details of these stories and more.
Here is Abdullahi Hassan with Newslink.
Many thanks to have you join the traditional comprehensive news package Newslink. We'll begin in Ghana, where health service authorities are partnering with the World Health Organization WHO to roll out a nationwide HPV vaccination campaign in September 2025. The exercise targeting girls between the ages of 9 and 14 in school environment is also being supported by the Gavi Vaccine Alliance. At the National Education Stakeholder Engagement convened in Kumasi on Monday, partners stressed the importance of the vaccination drive because of the rising cases of cervical cancer in the country, reaching 3,000 annually. The meeting brought together key actors from all 16 regions of Ghana, including the Education Service, the Ghana National Council of Private Schools, and development partners. WADR's Nadri Tete reports.
The WHO and Ghana Health Service partnership is aimed at galvanizing support to fight against cervical cancer, which experts say is not only a health issue, but a gender equity crisis cutting short the lives of women in their most productive years. Participants at the meeting discussed how schools and teachers can become powerful advocates in their communities, addressing misinformation, encouraging uptake, and ensuring no girl is left behind. The HPV vaccine is not just a health campaign, says Dr. Fred Adomako-Boateng, Ashanti Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, which describes the vaccine rollout as a national duty to build a healthier generation. The Ghana Health Service says girls between 9 and 14 years of age are enrolled in school, making educational institutions a strategic and efficient platform for vaccine delivery, education, and advocacy. Teachers and school administrators are also trusted voices in the September campaign to address concerns, dispel myths, and encourage parents to consent to vaccination. Annually, Ghana records an estimated 3,000 new cervical cancer cases and nearly 2,000 deaths, many of which could be prevented through timely human papillomavirus HPV vaccination, according to the WHO. Cervical cancer is one of the leading causes of cancer-related deaths among women worldwide, despite being almost entirely preventable.
A report filed in by WADR's Accra correspondent Nadiri Tete. Heading to the Sahel, where Mauritania and Chad are jointly tackling the scourge of school dropouts. A financing agreement has just been signed in Nouakchott with the World Bank and Germany to offer a second chance to nearly 850,000 young people. An ambitious project that focuses on open schools adapted to local realities. Let's join Imoradet for the details.
A new education project has been launched to help out-of-school youth in Mauritania and Chad. On July 22, an agreement was signed in Nouakchott between these two countries, the World Bank and the German government. This project, entitled Sahel Recovery, aims to reintegrate nearly 850,000 young people into the education system, particularly those living in rural, nomadic or border areas. The planned financial envelope is $137 million or approximately 125 million euros. Mauritania will receive more than $72 million, partly in the form of a loan and partly in the form of a grant. The German government will contribute $56 million. The remainder of the funding will go to Chad to ensure equitable distribution. The support is important because, according to the World Bank, more than 5 million young people are currently out of school in these two countries. The project involves open schools, a flexible model adapted to the needs of nomadic, refugee or displaced children. Half of the beneficiaries will be girls.
Imoradet reporting there. In Togo, the UN Secretary General's Special Envoy for the Great Lakes region, Wan Cha, was received on Monday by the President of the National Council for Yasimbe, the African Union's designated mediator for the crisis in eastern DRC. Christopher Ticho reports.
This meeting comes shortly after a joint East Africa Community EAC and Southern Africa Development Community SADC meeting held in Nairobi on August 1 on the security situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo. In Lomé, the two officials reviewed regional discussions while emphasizing the importance of the mediation led by Togo, the conciliation efforts, and the solutions identified to successfully complete the mission. Wang Ji is the UN Special Envoy for the Great Lakes.
Nous sommes unanimes pour insister sur le rôle central de l'Union.
We are unanimous in emphasizing the central role of the African Union. Thanks to this mediation entrusted to President Faure Gnassingbé, it is a central place to manage the current crisis and also to tackle the root causes of instability and insecurity in the Great Lakes region. The communique of the Nairobi meeting has already sent a very clear message regarding the central role of the African Union mediation, and on this point, all other dynamics must converge towards the central mediation to monitor, support, and strengthen it. The United Nations is very clear. We are here to accompany and support the African Union mediation, and in the face of these challenges, we will spare no efforts to strengthen this central mediation.
Ménagerons aucun effort pour renforcer cette médiation centrale.
It should be noted that this meeting is the second after the one held in April and is part of the ongoing diplomatic consultations aimed at restoring peace to the unstable region of the continent.
A report by WADR's Lomé correspondent Sylvia Ouedraogo and voiced in our studios by Christopher Aticho.
More stories coming up on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
Many thanks for staying with us. We stream live on WADR.org and across our social media pages, WADR English. Here in Senegal, the state authority has beefed up security around the country's shared border with Mali, a neighboring state experiencing a surge in terrorist attacks. To complement the existing arrangement, 3 new gendarmerie units have been deployed in the eastern region of Senegal, a decision Dakar says seeks to prevent any cross-border infiltration. This comes in response to an early July attack by armed groups, most notably the Group for the Support of Islam, JNIM, an Al-Qaeda affiliate in western Mali. Augustin Kole completes the story.
3 units, including a Gendarmerie Legion in Kédougou, a research brigade in Tambacounda, and a rapid surveillance and intervention group in Saraya, have been operational since Saturday. According to the military command, particularly the one based in Kidira, the entry point of Mali, the creation of these units reflects the desire of senior authorities to guarantee the protection of populations and property, as well as the security of the national territory. Coordinated attacks carried out in early July targeted army positions in several towns in western Mali. One of the attacked towns, Djibouti, is located in the immediate vicinity of the Senegalese border, less than 500 meters from the town of Kidira. These attacks were claimed by the Group for the Support of Islam and Muslims, JNIM, an Al-Qaeda affiliate. The statement from the General Staff emphasizes the need to establish a climate of trust with the population in order to foster better collaboration. As part of this fight against crime, the Senegalese government also banned, starting July 24 and for a period of 1 month, the use of motorcycles at night throughout the Bakel department. This means of transportation is widely used by armed groups.
Augustine Coley reporting there. More on security. Reactions are trailing the creation of a new security initiative by the Nigerian transitional government, known as Garikwarakasa in Hausa language, which translates to protectors of the homeland. The platform intends to mobilize civilians in support of security forces in the fight against insecurity. Backed by Nigerian Ministry of the Interior, Garikwa is led by the M62 civil society movement with an objective of strengthening community involvement in maintaining public safety across urban areas of the country. Since the announcement, there has been a division in public opinion. While some Nigerians welcome the move, others have expressed concerns about the approach, including the recruitment of citizens as volunteers to fight insecurity in the country. Here are the citizens' reactions.
When
I asked the question to Mombli and Sunday, they told me that it was to train young people who will have the task of securing the interior of cities through the old system that we know as Mbanga. They will do the patrol, they will not be armed, just to secure the goods and people within Nigerian capitals. If that's the case, I don't find any inconvenience in it. And just to secure the goods and people within the capital of Ghana, if that's the case, I find no inconvenience at all. What we really want is that the M70 and the authorities really put the people in the right place to really take them and bring them to the bottom so that they can guarantee the security of our country, and not to take the youth to compromise their future.
How many soldiers have been called for the reintegration since the arrival of these soldiers? Since they saw that the situation is not going well, we can call on these brave soldiers who have been called for reintegration instead of calling on the Nigerian youth who are in war, because it is a war to be suffered, a war of asymmetry.
A section of the Nigerian population reacting to the launch of a national program to fight insecurity in urban areas of the country. Now, ahead of Benin's 2026 general elections, a new opposition political coalition has emerged to position itself as a credible alternative to the ruling government. The alliance, registered as the Third Voice, brings together several opposition political parties and movements. Sankle Janko has more.
The new opposition coalition, known as the Third Voice, brings together political parties such as the Pan-African People's Party (PPP), the New National Force, and the emerging movements claiming to be part of the civil society. The Third Voice presents itself as an alternative that aims to put the general interest back at the center of political action. Jean-Baptiste Unge, president of the Pan-African People's Party, is spokesperson for the coalition.
Third, we want to give the floor to a silent majority of Beninis who no longer recognize themselves in the current political order. Fourth, we believe that politics should not be a battlefield for personal ambitions, but a level for sustainable and harmonious development of our country. We aspire to a popular democracy, humanist and patriotic, placing the welfare of each Beninis at the heart of all political, economic and socio-cultural decisions.
Other priorities of the new opposition platform include deep institutional reforms and the restoration of trust between governments and citizens. Despite the tightening of the electoral code for taking part in the next elections, opponents say they are ready to go for state power. In this contest, Jean-Baptiste Unge says,
we will have candidates in every electoral sequence, young patriots. They are from our different parties. Our objective is to win the legislative and the municipal elections. If we win the municipal elections, you will see how the change will take place.
Although the pragmatic outlines of the Third Voice still need to be refined, its members assure that work is already underway to offer the Beninese people a concrete social project. The new opposition coalition is expected to soon join forces with main opposition party, the Democrats.
Sankule Janko with the details of that report from WADR's Cotonou correspondent Aziz Adam Sule. You are listening to Newslink here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM Dakar, Senegal. We are live at wadr.org. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Health authorities in Ghana partner with WHO to roll out a nationwide HPV vaccination campaign in September. Chad and Mauritania receive millions of dollars in grants to support education recovery efforts. A UN Special Envoy for the Great Lakes arrived in Togo for crisis resolution in the region. Still ahead in the news, a prominent Nigerian human rights activist charges the Electoral Commission with cautioning politicians over illegal campaign activities ahead of the 2027 general elections. Liberia and Sierra Leone launch ECOWAS a free roaming service to enhance regional connectivity. We also have the guest interview and sports news. Please stay with us.
Fresh and breaking news all the time. Hear it first as the news breaks, only on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
A prominent Nigerian human rights lawyer, Femi Falana, has criticized early campaigns in Nigeria ahead of the 2027 general elections. The senior advocate of Nigeria has asked the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, to caution politicians against breaching the Electoral Act 2022. Falana said politicians must provide solutions to the problems confronting the country, adding that those in government have a greater responsibility to focus on governance and engage citizens before making decisions. He cited some sections of the Constitution requiring parties to uphold state policy objectives, adding that the government's primary duty is to safeguard citizens' security and welfare.
As far as the Electoral Act of Nigeria, Electoral 2022 is concerned, the ongoing electioneering campaign is illegal, totally illegal. It's also diversionary. Because what Nigerians expect now, what the law provides for, is governance of the country without distraction. So it's not time yet to campaign. And I do hope that INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, would draw the attention of politicians, including the government, including those who constitute the government, to the relevant provisions of the Electoral Act. That there is no provision yet, there is no room yet for campaigning in Nigeria 2 years ahead of election. It's not part of our law. If the people in power want to amend the law, that should be done. I will say that, and the media must help Nigeria, particularly when it's time to campaign. We must take politicians out of the cocoon of ethnicity, religion, and other primordial considerations. We must address the problems that are confronting our people. If you say you want to replace those who are in power, what is your solution to the electricity crisis in the education sector, bad roads in the country, and other problems confronting Nigeria as a nation? It's not just enough to say, I will be in power for 4 years, I will be in power for 8 years. What do you want to do there? And for those who are in power, you have a greater responsibility to concentrate on governance and consult with the people.
Femi Falana is a prominent Nigerian lawyer and rights activist. Liberia and Sierra Leone have officially launched the ECOWAS free roaming service, allowing mobile subscribers in both countries to call, text and browse seamlessly across borders without incurring international charges. The launch took place on Monday in Monrovia during the opening of a 3-day ECOWAS telecommunications conference hosted by the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, LTA. From Monrovia, Abraham Parker reports.
During the launching ceremony, LTA Chairman Clarence Masakwa emphasized the initiative's importance at both national and regional levels.
For our citizens who are trading across the border, we want to make sure that through telecommunication, free movement of people and goods can be nothing less than possible. Liberians and Sierra Leoneans, by Wednesday, we bring in live a free roaming exercise.
Meanwhile, Sierra Leone's National Communications Authority Director General Amara Bawi described the launch as a pivotal moment for digital accessibility and regional economic empowerment.
The road to full regional roaming integration requires continuous commitment from regulators, operators, and policymakers alike. We must invest in infrastructure, protect consumers, strengthen data governance, and harmonize policies in line with ECOWAS.
At the same time, ECOWAS permanent representative to Liberia, Josephine Nkrumah, reaffirmed the regional bloc's commitment to promoting integration through digital inclusion.
This is another milestone for integration and a borderless digital community. It is also a clear recognition and indeed an indication of the political will of the three countries represented here today. It shows that there is a clear and willing intention to bridge the digital divide.
According to authorities, Liberia is set to sign a similar agreement with Cote d'Ivoire. Additionally, discussions are ongoing with the Gambia and Ghana to expand the framework to more ECOWAS countries by the end of 2025. For Newslink on WADR, Abraham Parker, Monrovia.
Politics, analysis on major news, social matters, and all. This is A Guest.
The guest segment tonight takes us back to Benin, where the race toward the 2026 general elections is already heating up. A brand new opposition coalition known as the Third Voice has been unveiled. The alliance is made up of several political opposition parties and movements, all with one goal: to offer Beninese voters a fresh alternative to the current government. They say it's about a new vision, a new direction, and giving the people more choices at the ballot box. So, what exactly does this new coalition stand for? How significant could its impact be on Benin's political landscape? To help us unpack this, here is Kopep Dabugat, international development expert and geopolitical analyst.
It's a good question to ask, having had the third voice being launched in Benin. And basically, this third voice has been launched by people who are largely unknown or not very heavy, really, in terms of their standing in the political terrain of Benin. You know, the president has been a very maximum leader, and so far he has really exhibited his control over the country. So it would not be that easy to dislodge his coalition. Yes, he has declared repeatedly that he's not running, even though he has had those that are being touted to take over from him are also themselves largely unknown figures within the political terrain. So it's not really an easy thing because his coalition has been in power for a very long time. And with that, he has a very, or the coalition has had a very serious control over the politics of Benin. So it's an uphill task, but well, it's always good to have a strong opposition, a willing and dedicated and purposeful election. And the third voice in Benin seems to be a strong or rather a determined opposition.
Well, there seems to be a fallout between the president, some of the president's policies, and what affects the population. Do you think this may trigger the people to want to sway towards the path of the coalition?
Well, I would say just like many other West African countries, their maximum rulership by the president in power, and it's not much different from what obtains in Benin. But there is no large-scale controversy in Benin in terms of the political space that will ensure a break from the current trend, given that the political ruling party in power is not really doing anything to antagonize the people per se. Yes, some of the policies have actually contributed to some economic difficulties and downturns, but it takes more than just that to turn a citizen against a president and a political coalition that has been in power for some time. And then, of course, Benin is a very poor country. So because of that, you find out that citizens are a lot less powerful, to challenge the ruling party.
That was Kopep Dabugard, international development expert and geopolitical analyst. Well, in the world of sports, the Chan Championship is on, and as of early today, Sudan and Congo settled on a 1-1 draw in the group games. But for more on this, I'm being joined by my colleague, Augustine Coley. Good evening, Augustine.
Good evening, Abdullahi, and it's a pleasure to share the platform with you. As you rightly said, in the world of sports, Congo and Sudan played out in a tense 1-1 draw in the opening Group D fixture of the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship Chan, which is termed as Pamoja 2024 at the Amman Stadium this Tuesday, with both sides settling for a point in their pursuit of knockout stage qualification. And the biennial competition reserved exclusively for players playing their trade in domestic African leagues saw its first ever meeting between Congo and Sudan deliver drama intensity and lit heroics in front of a lively crowd in Zanzibar. Musa Hussein gave Sudan the lead in the 29th minute before Kali and Congo's 86th-minute striking show. Congo began their fifth Chan campaign without defeat. And it was Sudan who took the more purposeful early stage and exchanges, testing Congo goalkeeper Urech Samba with a barrage of set pieces and half chances. However, Salah Adi headed wide from close range in the 10th minute, with Abdel Rauf Yagoub pulled the strings from the Murphy. However, the Red Devils struggled to find Rams in the first half, trailing 1-0 at the interval. The draw marks Congo's first goal in open play in over 3 Chan matches, ending a scoreless drought that dated back to 2020. For Sudan, the first extends their winless run in open play at Chan to 5 matches, but also signals a step forward after a disappointing 2022 campaign.
And at the moment, we have a game ongoing, yeah? Nigeria and
yes,
Senegal.
We have a game ongoing right now.
Amazing.
It's also part of the same group stage, and it's part of Group D matches. So Nigeria and Senegal are battling right now at 65th minute, and it's goalless right now. The game is so interesting to the extent that the intensity is high. Given the fact that Nigeria is doing well, especially with the women, football
category of sports, football, and football,
basketball, and so the anticipation and the hope is that the male team should also maintain that level. But however, Senegal is also recorded as a performing country, so it's hard. But let's look up to what comes up out of the 90 plus added minutes.
Many thanks, Augustine.
A pleasure, sir.
And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Newslink here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Thank you for listening, and many thanks to Mustafa Sak and Sheikh Njai for technical assistance. Do interact with us via social media platforms, X, Instagram at WADR English, and on Facebook, WADR English Service. We also stream live on WADR.org. I'm Abdullahi Hassan. Good evening.
And many thanks to you for listening to Newslink via Hot 104.3 FM, Newmi FM 94.0,
Hilltop Radio 104.7 FM,
and Veritas Radio 102.9 in Banjul, the Gambia. We also appreciate our listeners in Liberia via Alternative Youth Radio 98.9 FM, Lofa County,
Radio Kagama 94.5 FM, Niba County, DCN Radio 91.3 FM, Riverside County, Wakat FM Radio, Baga, Liberia, Radio Gulf FM 91.3 Sierra Leone.
For you listening via Radio Pad 95.1 Damango, Savannah region, and on Royals FM 104.7 Wenchi, Ghana, we say a big thank you. Remember, West Africa Democracy Radio is all about you, your views, and your opinions.